In this video, we'll break down David Icke's most talked about books and conspiracy theories. As a former footballer turned sports commentator, Icke made a name for himself as Britain's leading conspiracy evangelist. As a self-proclaimed son of God, acting as the one man between us and total human enslavement, it's not surprising that a lot of shade has been thrown his way over the years. Let's see what all the fuss is about. Number 1. The reptilian elite. One of his most notable conspiracy theories first came out in 1998 when he published his book, The Biggest Secret. In it, he writes about a global conspiracy, a hidden hand manipulating humanity's destiny through the shadows using those who seem to be in power. And the goal of these shadow people? Nothing less than an Orwellian global superstate with total control at the hands of an ancient reptilian shape-shifting race. Icke goes as far as to claim that these reptilian aristocracies live among people in the form of corporate executives, celebrities, and leaders. These are people who hold a lot of power and are also the same ones behind some of the worst tragedies in human history, including the 9/11 attack and the Holocaust. These reptilian humanoids are called Anunnaki in his book, where he states that this isn't a recent phenomenon. These shape-shifting creatures have controlled humankind since antiquity. In combination with this, he believes that these lizards are also responsible for the formation and growth of secret societies that hide in plain sight, a part of an ancient Babylonian hierarchical brotherhood. He believes that there is a global elite at the top of the brotherhood with the ultimate goal to reach an era wherein all of humanity is microchipped and freedom of speech no longer exists. Icke suggests that they use human anxiety as a manipulative tool to keep humans trapped under their invisible spell, and that all the wars, human genocide, and black magic rituals, mass slaughter of animals, sexual perversions have all been at the hands of these manipulating, shape-shifting reptilians. Even stuff like that human sacrifice to the gods, which we did back in the day during ancient times, was for our reptilian overlords, especially sacrifice of children, because apparently, at the moment of death by sacrifice, a form of adrenaline surges through the body, accumulating at the base of the brain, and this is more potent in children, claiming this is what the reptilians and their crossbreeds want. He suggests that these sacrifices continue to this day. He also claims the reptilians and their hybrid bloodlines engage in some pretty sketchy stuff like pedophilia and cannibalism. According to Icke, it seems pretty much all the major organizations in the world are either created or controlled by our all-seeing reptilian overlords. Organizations such as the United Nations, International Monetary Fund, Bilderberg Group, as well as the media, military, CIA, MI6, Mossad, science, religion, and did we mention the internet? You know, that thing you're watching right now? It seems at least our reptile supervisors at least provide us with some good entertainment. According to him, these organizations are so good at psychological manipulation that they made the public believe Osama bin Laden was behind the 9/11 attacks to justify invading Afghanistan. 2. 5G and COVID-19. Icke claimed in a YouTube video on the London Real channel that there was a link between the 5G mobile phone networks and the coronavirus, where these new 5G frequencies suppress the immune system of humans, making it easy for the virus to not only spread but thrive. The video went viral and chaos shortly ensued. People all over the world straight up took his word on it, resulting in several attacks and vandalism on mobile phone masts in various cities all over the world. Also, telecommunication engineers suffered abuse from those who supported Icke's conspiracy theory. The video was shortly removed from the platform following by Facebook deleting his page, which had over 800,000 fans, as well as permanently banning him. So that's a pretty bold claim. What is the truth here? Well, 5G is a part of the electromagnetic spectrum. And the higher up you go, the higher the frequency where we know there are dangers. That's because this part of the spectrum is ionizing. That means it can do internal damage to our bodies. But then you've got 5G. Just like Wi-Fi, this is in a lower band of the spectrum. It's non-ionizing, and the overwhelming weight of international scientific and medical research has said that this band is not harmful. But that hasn't stopped the conspiracy theory from spiraling out of control. Do you think Icke saw this as an opportunity to grow his brand, or did he genuinely get another message from God that humanity urgently needed to hear? 3. red dresses. From his book, Infinite Love is the Only Truth, published in 2005, he discussed 3 groups of people. The first being interactive software programs, or red dresses. They lack consciousness and free will, and their human bodies are holographic veils. The second groups, which make up the vast majority of humanity, are referred to as the sheeple. They are conscious, but do as they are told, and are the Brotherhood's main energy source. They include the repeaters, people in positions of influence who repeat what other people tell them. He cites doctors, teachers, and journalists as examples. The third and smallest group are those who see through the illusion. They are usually dubbed dangerous or mad. Apparently, the red dress genetic lines interbreed obsessively to make sure their bloodlines are not weakened by the second or third levels of consciousness, because consciousness can rewrite the software. 4. Infinite dimensions. In this conspiracy theory, Icke suggests that the universe consists entirely of vibrational energy. He believes that it is made up of infinite dimensions within the same space, the same way that TV and radio frequencies operate. For this reason, he believes that everyone has the capability to tune into different wavelengths through their consciousness. In an interview, Icke said the following: "Our 5 senses can access only a tiny frequency range, like a radio tuned to one station. In the space you are occupying now are all the radio and television stations broadcasting to your area. You can't see them and they can't see each other because they are on different wavelengths. But move your radio dial and suddenly there they are, one after the other. It is the same with the reality we experience here as life. What we call the world and the universe is only one frequency range in an infinite number sharing the same space." Icke believes that time is an illusion. There is no past or future, and only the infinite now is real, and that people are just an aspect of consciousness, of infinite awareness, which he describes as all that there is, has been, and ever can be. 5. Saturn-moon matrix. Acquainted to society through his book, Human Race Get Off Your Knees, The Lion Sleeps No More, published in 2010. This theory suggests that the collective human mind, as well as the Earth, is controlled by an interdimensional portal from the moon. This portal is controlled by our reptilian overlords, and he calls it the Moon Matrix. From the spacecraft, he believes that the reptilians can control the left hemisphere of the human brain. This part of the brain is what dictates humans' perception of reality. According to Icke's own words, "We are living in a dream world within a dream world, a matrix within the virtual reality universe, and it is being broadcast from the moon. Unless people force themselves to become fully conscious, their minds are the moon's mind." When asked about how he discovered this theory of his, Icke said that an overwhelming feeling came out of nowhere, that the moon was not real. By real, I mean not a heavenly body, but an artificial construct or hollowed-out planetoid that has been put there to control life on Earth, which it does.
Oh, you crazy!
I have pondered this possibility a few times over the years, but this time I just knew. It was like an enormous penny had suddenly dropped. He continued to expand this theory of his in another book called Remember Who You Are, Remember Where You Are, and Where You Come From, published in 2012, where he introduces the concept of the Saturn-moon matrix. In this more recent conceptualization, the rings of Saturn, which Icke believes were artificially created by reptilian spacecraft, are the ultimate source of the signal, where the moon functions as an amplifier. He claims that frequencies broadcast from Saturn and are amplified through the hollow structure of our artificial moon, keeping humanity trapped in a holographic projection. 6. Problem, reaction, solution. This conspiracy theory is targeted towards the Illuminati and their agenda. He attempts to use this concept to explain how Illuminati develops and advances. He believes that the Illuminati guide us in the direction they desire by creating false problems they can easily give their desired solution to the problem they created. He refers to this process as order out of chaos. Some of the incidents that he believes are associated with this idea include the Columbine shooting, 9/11 attacks, and the Oklahoma City bombing. Global warming, as well as the deaths of Princess Diana and JFK's assassination, are all linked to the Illuminati. He believes that U.S. Presidents George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and Donald Trump are part of a false political divide. Despite the presidency belonging to the Republican Party, then the Democratic Party, then going back to the Republicans, Icke claims they are all pushing the same agenda of regime change in the Middle East, a goal set out in the early 2000s in a document called the Project for a New American Century. Icke claims that this debate allows the Illuminati to gradually move societies towards totalitarianism without challenge, a process he calls the totalitarian tiptoe. In his book, Tales from the Time Loop, published in 2003, Icke argues that the Illuminati create religious, racial, ethnic, and sexual groups that make it easy for them to divide and conquer humanity. He says the only reason why the Illuminati has any power is that we, the people, choose to give them it. Our only hope is a combined effort of peaceful non-compliance where we awaken from our unconscious, easily manipulated state. Okay, that was some way out stuff. Do you believe any of it? Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more That's Woke videos are coming soon. Subscribe to our channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one. Until the next video, we gotta bounce.